Well, here it comes.
Are you kidding me? All right. So there's a school in South Carolina. All right, you with me?
Okay. All right. Great start.
Their mascot. Okay. You ready?
Rebels.
No. Auctioneers.
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 Like,
Yeah. Mullins
where's
High
this at?
School. Mullins.
Mullins. I think that's is that where Xavier Leggett's from? The
Maybe.
receiver
I
for
don't
the
even-
Panthers? I mean, he's a
I don't
country dude, but this would be a whole other level. The Mullins Auctioneers.
I gotta look
You
this
mean
up.
like sell it to the highest bidder auctioneer, right? I'm not just hearing this wrong.
Yeah, correct. Correct. I had a
Now-
good basketball season. Let's see. Yeah, the Mullins Auctioneers.
Where Mullins? That's down. Is that Low Country?
Yeah, that's cash crop land. So I think we all know.
Oh,
think we
all
all
right.
know that's insane.
Wow.
There's no way.
How was their football season?
Let's take a look. Mullins High School football or Auctioneers football.
I mean, it's got to be like livestock. Hopefully, it is not worst case scenario what we're thinking. I would have figured all. Yeah, you better watch out. The search history, you never know what'll show up. Like, good Lord.
7-4 last year.
Okay, solid. Probably made the playoffs, right? If they play 11 games, first round win, maybe.
Yeah, that's not
made
bad.
2 rounds deep. That's not a bad year. Shout out to the Auctioneers of Mullins High School.
You might want to change your mascot, though.
That's interesting. I'm hoping maybe somebody will hop in the comments and come to their defense. Maybe they're just, maybe it's cattle. Maybe it's just when you think about South Carolina, you think about the Low Country, cash crop territory, plantation territory, and you hear the name auctioneer. It's hard not to think worst case scenario there. But I just feel like it would have.
They started off 6-0.
Okay.
Then they, I guess, once they got into the region, it got a little dicey. But I've never heard of some of these schools.
Does it say the classification?
Okay. That tracks. So they're in there with Manning, Kingstree, Lake City, Marion, and Atlantic Collegiate Academy.
Shocker, the Charters came in there. They lose to the charter school?
Atlantic is trash. They went 1-5, 1-8.
They're one of the new ones. They can't recruit yet.
Yeah,
no, actually, I know some. I played in college with some guys from Manning, Kingstree. That's actually a really pretty area down there. Very small towns, Lake City. I've been through there a time or two trying to cut through to get to the beach. But yeah, those are some nice little areas. You're just kind of far away from everything. But I mean, you probably get you some land out there and,
I'm sure there's a ton of land out there.
Help cheer on the Mullins Auctioneers. Dang. Hey, God's got a sense of humor, right? You've talking about mascots here. So I was on Instagram earlier today, and Texas Football Life on Instagram. Shout out to those guys. They put out a lot of good content related to just Texas sports in general. So here's their list: the 20 most unusual high school mascots in Texas. All right, you ready? Just gonna rattle through some of these. All right. Now, I don't know where some of these schools are at, so I don't know the context of why the mascot is what it is. We can dive into that. We can hit the Google or the Chat GPT if we need to dive into it a little further. So here we go. Leading off, number 20, New Braunfels. I actually know where that's at. It's a really pretty area down.
That's the mascot?
Down here. No, New Braunfels is the name of the town. So it's like
okay.
So I don't know if you knew this, but there's actually a pretty strong, if you go south, like you're going to San Antonio, there's actually a really big German population. A lot of German folks moved out here decades and decades ago.
How many decades?
So, I mean, a while back. Yeah, a while back. But like, there's, a lot of those traditions stuff. You go down there and it's like Germantown. Like, it's might as well be a totally different world. But all right. So New Braunfels, their mascot, the unicorns.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. So let's see. Why is New Braunfels the unicorns?
What are their colors?
Do
we know?
Like blue. Looks
like rainbow?
Purple. No, they're blue and white. It looks like. All right. So New Braunfels is known as the Unicorns due to historical mix-up involving the coat of arms of Prince Karl of Solms-Braunfels. Interesting. Originally, the coat of arms featured a lion on the shield, but when the image was used for a school seal, it was misinterpreted with the lion's ear appearing as a horn, and a lot of folks thought it was a unicorn. So I guess it's
misprint.
It was a misprint that just got really popular, I guess.
Go unicorn.
Right. Yeah, go Unicorns. It's been the mascot for almost 100 years.
So can't change it now.
I was about to say, you wrote it out for a century almost. You can, you keep. All right, here you go. All right, Frost, Texas. The name of the town is Frost. Where is that at? Let me get on Google Maps here. Frost, Texas. Looks like it's out near. So it's a town population 620. Navarro County. I've been through there before. That's west. No, south. South. All right. So we're in Frost, Texas. Guess the mascot.
South Texas?
It's south of the Metroplex. So it's not like South Texas, like you're down near Mexico, but Frost, Texas. Guess the mascot.
Frost makes me want to go something snow related, but then why is the tumbleweed? Oh, Yetis. Are they the Yetis?
Yetis would be a solid name. No, they're not. Polar bears. Polar bears.
There's no polar bears in Texas?
Polar bears in Texas, baby. The Frost polar bears. I actually wonder how their season went now that let's see. Frost, polar bears. Not great content. We're sitting here Googling it on the recording. Hopefully it'll edit some of this out, but all right. So let's see. Frost. I mean, the town's got 620 people, so it can't be. I mean, let's just see here. Last year they went. I can't even get it to pull up. 4 and 6.
They have 600 people and they have a school, a high school.
Yeah, it looks like they're playing 2A D2. So they're a smaller 2A school in Texas. And they didn't have a great year, but shout out to the Polar Bears, man. I'm rooting for you guys. All right, here we go. Not to piggyback off the Mullins auctioneers any, but you will never guess this one. This one might make your skin crawl. All right, Hereford. Hereford is the name of the town. All right. So
Where's that at?
Yeah, let's see here.
I'm gonna guess
Hereford, Texas.
northwest.
All right. So it is in Deaf Smith County. It's known as the beef capital of the world. All right. That might come in handy here in a second when I tell you this mascot name. It's out near Amarillo, looks like. So it's kind of up in the panhandle. Okay. You ready for this one?
Beef capital. Hold on. Let me get a guess. Beef capital in Texas.
You're not going to guess it. I already know.
Steaks, cowbells, wagyu. No, that's like Japanese, ain't it? Go ahead. Hit me with it.
I mean, you leaned into it. All right. They are the Hereford Whitefaces.
Where does that come from? Oh, the cows?
All right. The cows. Yeah. All right.
The white-faced cow?
Somebody told me that. I've actually heard of that one before. And when they first told me, it was kind of like your reaction when we found out about the auctioneers. You kind of just look around like, is it okay to laugh right now? Is this serious? But yeah, so white faces, they're the cows. So beef capital, they leaned into it. You know, I think they probably could have gone with, I don't even know.
Anything else? I mean,
anything else but white faces? That's certainly unique. All right. So we had Frost Polar Bears. We had Hereford White Faces. We had the New Braunfels Unicorns. All right. Here we go. God dang it. Why are these back to back? Robstown, Texas. All right, Robstown, Texas. Robstown. Let's see where we're looking at here on the maps. Let's see here. Looks like we're down near the beach, down near Corpus Christi. All right.
Robstown. Thieves? I don't understand.
Down near Corpus Christi, down near the beach. All right. They are the Robstown cotton pickers.
Ain't no way. No way. That's not real. That's not real.
All right, hang on. Here we go. Google Robstown cotton pickers.
That is absurd.
The cotton pickers are the official mascot of Robstown, Texas, particularly Robstown High School and the Robstown Early College. The name reflects the town's history as a center for cotton farming.
Yeah, I bet.
With significant presence of Hispanic migrant workers who played a vital role in the industry.
Okay.
So you know what?
Took a turn I didn't expect.
Hey, I'm just reading off Google, guys. You can't don't kill the messenger. But no, that's definitely it.
Interesting.
All right.
It's actually kind of cool looking mascot. Yeah, hit me.
All right, here we go. Texas City. Let's find out where we're looking here.
Texas City is the city?
Texas City is the city.
Okay.
All right, so let's see the maps here. I just like to see where we're looking. You know, I feel like it helps me get a layout of where we're. All right, we're down near the beach again. We're down near Galveston. Okay. Down near the Houston area a little bit. Okay, so we're in that Gulf. All at a little stadium. I'm looking at the picture of it now. All right, so we're down near the beach, Texas City.
Well, Texas City is a weird town, city, whatever name anyway. So is it?
The city of Texas City.
Texas City. City limits of Texas City.
Yeah, it's a little
Is it just city? The Texas City cities?
The Stingarees.
That's not.
I'm just glad we got off the agriculture names for a second.
It was the first thing. I mean, it popped up without even. I didn't have to type.
I'm telling you, like these are some winners.
What the heck is that? Oh, a stingray.
Yeah, I don't get the stingaree. I don't know why the.
Well, and this says stingrays, but this says stingarees. What are we doing, Texas City?
Hey, we need somebody from Texas City to come in. Is it stingarees or is it stingrays? We got to get some clarification on this one. I like it.
And this says
Wasn't there a
stings.
hockey? Hey, it's they got some different options when it comes to the nicknames, I guess.
That's a cool mascot, though. Stingray, that's in Tampa Bay Rays, I guess, but that's
Tampa
cool.
Bay Rays. Wasn't there a little minor league hockey team out in Charleston that was like something stingray related?
Oh yeah, because they played the Swamp Rabbits.
Yeah, I'm getting it's unlocking a memory for me. All right, you ready for the next one?
Oh, Stingrays. That was right there.
That's
Yeah,
it,
go ahead.
Yeah. Not the stingarees, not the stingers.
Yeah, we should change that.
All right, Itasca, Texas. Itasca. All right, you loading it up here? You getting a little
Itasca. I'm trying not to cheat and pre-Google it.
Yeah, I don't want you to. So we're talking south of Fort Worth. All right, south of Dallas, Fort Worth, between here and Waco. All right, small town. They had a town population of 1,500.
Wow, that's smaller than Williamston.
Yeah, there's some small ones out there. All right, you ready for this one?
Yeah, Magnolias.
I mean, that's actually a really good guess for it being on the way to Waco, but no, there's no chance you would have ever gotten this. All right, they are the Itasca Wampus Cats.
Wampus. God bless America.
I'm telling you, dude, this list.
That?
All right, Wampus, Wampus, space cats.
Oh, there's a space. Fictional creature from American folklore, particularly popular in the Appalachian Mountains. The Appalachian Mountains don't even go down to Texas.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Might as well call it the Bigfoots.
Yeah.
Sasquatch would be a solid.
Wampus
cats.
May be related to the word catawampus, meaning peculiar.
I was wondering if they were related terms, They shared too much. All right.
Spiritual green-eyed cat. Green eyes. Hashtag green eye.
That's what makes it Wampus, When somebody first told me that one, because I've heard of that one before too, I thought they were talking about like swamp cat or something. And I'm like, yeah, okay, well, that makes it.
And like South Carolina has, swamp foxes, and there's, Francis Marion, there's a whole historical context to that, but like catawampus or wampus cat?
Wampus is totally out there. All right. You ready for the next one? All right, here we go. Cuero, Cuero. Let's see what we're talking here. Cuero, Texas.
Cuervo?
Cuero, no V.
No Jose?
Cuero. So we are talking, I'm assuming it's south. Let's see where we're at on the maps. Yeah, we're like south of San Antonio, between San Antonio and the beach. All right, so we're kind of out there, deep South Texas. Cuero, ideas.
Jose's.
One of the Jose's. Actually, that's a solid name.
Jose's Cuervo.
That would be awesome. The Cuero Jose's. No.
Switch it up on them.
They are the gobblers.
Turkeys?
The turkeys, yeah, they're the turkeys. The Cuero gobblers.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it's
Hokies,
unusual. Yeah, Hokies is solid.
Cool, but like gobblers?
Yeah, gobblers. All right, here we go. This one's pretty close to us, all right? Mesquite. So Mesquite's like the next town. That would be solid. The smokers or the hogs would have been good. All right.
Pellets.
They're the Mesquite Skeeters.
I'm sorry?
The Skeeters.
Mosquitoes?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Whenever I first heard
walls.
I moved out here and somebody said that they were a Skeeter one time, and I just like double taked and like I thought it was Little John, like a 2003 Little John song all over again, to the windows of the walls. You know what I'm saying? But no, they're the Mesquite Skeeters.
Oh my gosh, I gotta get some of that merch.
Yeah, that's some solid merch. So Mesquite actually has several high schools in their district, and they're all pretty big schools. And I got a buddy that works at one of them. I won't go out and put his name out there. He might not want me to tell the story, but he's got a little song that, because there's a rivalry between all the Mesquite schools. And the little song goes, "There's a skeeter on my Peter, knock it off." And they just keep rolling with it. But yeah, Skeeters, man, that's going to turn some heads right there.
Gosh. Yeah, just clip that part and just post that and see what happens.
Yeah, just let it unfold from there. All right, we got another cold weather. We got winters, Texas. So first of all, let's look where, I've been living in Texas 5 years now. I've experienced the winters. They are not that cold. So we've got frost. We've had winters so far. All right, Runnels County, population of 2,300. All right, so we're talking out near Abilene, which is like west of Fort Worth, west of the Metroplex, all that. So it's pretty out there. All right. Winters. Any guesses on the mascot?
Winter.
Winters.
Like the season.
Yeah, like the season. Winters.
Snowflakes.
No, it's a little more aggressive than that. More aggressive than that. That would be awesome.
Snow
No, it's not
leopards.
that would also be awesome.
Eskimos. Can you say that? Eskimos?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, if they can say Mullins High School is the auctioneers, then I think we can say Eskimos.
Yeah, and the cotton pickers. Then we're pretty
Cotton
broad
picture
here.
or the white faces. Nah, they are the winters blizzards. Blizzards. What you think about that?
Kind of makes me want to go to Dairy Queen.
Do the little upside down cup trick.
It's not bad. I can live with it. Yetis would have been cooler.
All right, here we go.
But it's all right.
Progresso is the name of the town. Progresso. So let's see where we're
Insurance.
talking here. Nah, close.
Claims.
Yeah, Jake from State Farm.
Yeah, sorry, I got insurance fresh on the mind. Still dealing with this whole truck mess. I'm also still looking at Mesquite Skeeters merch right now. I'm about to buy some.
I might be able to get it. I might be able to get a hookup for you. All right, so Progresso, Texas is literally on the border of Mexico. So that's how far south we're talking here. It's down near Starbase, where Elon Musk has started his own city. So we're talking literally on the border. Progresso. Thoughts on the mascot?
I'm sorry. This shirt says Skeeter Nation, and I might have to just buy it right now.
Rush order back.
Sorry. Okay, Progresso. Actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and buy it. Progresso on the border. Let's go with. I have no idea.
Red ants. The red ants.
They got like an ant problem down there. What's going on?
That's what I'm wondering. All right, Progresso red ants. Let's see where that came from, because I was thinking it'd be something like Spanish, once I kind of figured out why is.
This shirt is upstairs.
Wow. I don't know how old this story is, but they had to disqualify their state semifinal game. That might have been a while back. All right. So the Red Ants for Progresso High School in the Rio Grande Valley of Texas. It's rooted in the area's local connection to fire ants.
What?
That's not a connection. I would have found any other connection.
Does everybody not have a connection to fire ants?
So I thought they were pretty universal. I didn't think fire ants were a Progresso, Texas problem. I think they're everywhere. But yeah, so while the teams are known as the red ants, the actual ant species in the area are not directly referenced as such, but the connection is clear. Wait, so they don't have actual red ants? They just call themselves the red ants? They've got black ants like everybody else? That seems kind of
these shirts are in my Skeeter era. In my Skeeter era. Skeeter era.
The student council or whoever does the merch for Mesquite High School football, that's got to be like one of the best gigs. Like just finding different ways to throw Skeeter in there.
Not the baby clothes. My first Skeeters tee. All day, every day.
You might not have to buy any. I might be able to actually like get in touch with somebody that can.
I might have to buy like 4. Oh, these are just amazing. Oh man, home of the Skeeters, it's classic.
They got a sweet stadium though. I think we talked about it on one of the previous episodes. The Skeeters get to play in front of a.
We are Skeeters. Skeeter strong.
Oh my God.
Enough with the Skeeters.
Okay. I'm trying to lock you. I don't lost track. Okay, here we go. Roscoe. That's a solid name. Where's Roscoe, Texas? That just sounds like a city in Texas. Okay. It is in Nolan County, intersection of 20. Okay, so it might not be 20 kind of runs through our town. Let's see where we're talking. Roscoe, Texas is, all right, west of Abilene. So yeah, way out in West Texas. In fact, the picture of it is just some of those wind turbines. A lot of industry out there. Trying to see what the population is. Population of 1,200. Roscoe, way out west. All right. A lot of farm territory. Trying to give you some hints here. What's your guess on the mascot?
Let's go combines. Harvesters.
Harvesters would be an awesome name. Hey, Mullins High School, you might want to switch it up. Harvesters would be solid.
Let's switch that up, please, actually.
Or Robstown, the cotton pickers. Why don't we switch that up to Harvesters,
Yeah,
solid name. All right, Roscoe. Any other guesses?
No, tractors. No, I guess it's not a vehicle. No, I don't know.
Here you go. I'll try to drop a hint. Texas is known as, when you think about stereotypical Texas stuff, what's something you think of?
Bigger. Everything's bigger.
What about like nouns? Like what are some objects, people?
Tumbleweeds.
Okay, I mean that's solid, but all right.
Planes.
In terms of like people.
Redneck.
Yeah,
Texas
there's a lot
ain't
of that
really
too.
Redneck though.
There's parts of it, but
well,
all right.
Yeah.
I was trying to get you to say Cowboys because I think this is a play on Cowboys. They're not the Cowboys. They are the Roscoe. They're the Roscoe Plowboys.
All right, that's another shirt. Gotta get.
Yeah, we got Skeeters
Plowboys and the Skeeters.
We got Skeeters and Plowboys. Plowboys love Skeeters. You know what I'm saying?
I go bankrupt buying these shirts. These are awesome.
Yeah. Plowboys, solid. All right, here we go. Mason,
Dixon.
Texas. That would be a solid name. Let's see.
Plowboy.
What are the colors actually? While you're on the subject,
it looks like they are purple and white, purple and gray.
Purple and gray. Okay. All right. Mason, Texas.
Mason,
Where is this? Where is this? Oh, it's on a river. That's pretty awesome. All right, small town, smaller town. Golly, where is this?
Plowboy Nation.
Way off. All right, so it's like north. It's way out there north of San Antonio, I guess. Northwest of San Antonio. It's out there on an island. All right, Mason. They're the Punchers.
Punchers. All right.
Hey, but here's the cool part. All right, I want you to look up their football stadium right now.
What is it? It's the
Mason Punchers football stadium. That's all you got to type in.
Does it got like a big fist out front?
That would be awesome. But nah. I mean, they need to add that. If you're listening, all right, whenever you're not driving or whatever, you need to hop on Google, look up the Mason Punchers football stadium.
Wow.
Do you see what the
Puncher Dome?
The Puncher Dome, dude, and it's got like a little like cover over it.
That's
it's a small little stadium, but yeah, it's got that full cover right there. I thought that thing was awesome when I saw it.
Oh, it used to be a horse racetrack.
Really?
So
that would make sense. Is that what a puncher is? Is it? So it's referred to as the Puncher Dome because of the covered seating on the home side, capacity of 2,500. They got grass, none of that fancy turf, no elevator, no video board, no track. I do love stadiums that don't have tracks.
Yeah. Although there's a horse track somewhere around there, but probably buried.
Gotta be.
Wow, that's actually pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, it's a nice little small stadium, small town, but they got that cool little cover over it. Mason Punchers.
Where did that come from? Mason Punchers.
Yeah, figure that out.
Mascot. Puncher Pete. Cow Puncher.
I was thinking with horse racing, maybe you're like, they like give the horse a kick. Maybe it's punching when you like give the horse a little kick or whatever. I don't know. Where did Mason Punchers come from? I'm about to hop on the chat GPT for this one.
We got to do some deep dive here.
They don't want people to know.
Punchers years ago used to ship cattle across Texas. What? It's like a quote from a dude. What is he talking about?
Maybe they just took it and ran.
Oh, that's Amarillo.
They took it and ran with it, maybe? The whole puncher idea?
Yeah, I guess.
Hey, if anybody out in Mason, Texas happens to be listening or see this clip or whatever, figure out why y'all are the Punchers. And y'all might have one of my favorite Texas high school football stadiums. It ain't got to be big and fancy. I like the Puncher Dome. It's pretty solid. Are you ready for the next one, Jack?
Hit me with it.
Hutto, Texas. Hutto, Hutto. So we're talking... It's actually a pretty big school. I've heard of it before. We're talking north of Austin. So it's kind of an Austin suburb out near Round Rock. Pretty big area. All right. But this mascot has literally nothing to do with when I think of Austin, Texas. It's got a solid alliteration, though.
Hold on. I got this one. So it's Hutto?
It's Hutto.
Hutto. Poto. This is like me playing, what's that game? Wordle? Or just making up words?
Alliteration is where it starts with the same letter, right? Or am I just...
that's right. Not English. That's right.
Okay. No, so yeah. So it starts with an H. It might have the same number of letters as Hutto. I didn't count off the top of my head. And you would never think about it when you're thinking about Texas.
House. No. Hutto House. Like a restaurant.
Hutto.
I don't know.
Remember
what we got?
Hutto Hippos.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's a good one, dude. Check out their they got a nice little stadium too. Check out their football stadium.
Dude, I cannot type right now. Right. Is that like a 3-story press box?
Yeah, I'm looking at a picture now. It looks like they did a fireworks show after one of the games.
Hey.
Yeah, the Hippos look like they got it going on, man. I mean, it says the city's got like 40,000 people, so it's a pretty big suburb of Austin down there. But yeah, Hutto Hippos. I'm a big fan of that one. I still like Plowboys, no homo, and
Skeeters is my top.
Skeeters is top. Plowboys is second.
Yeah, I'm still looking at shirts.
I'm trying to find. All right, here we go. I guess this has got to be Fort Worth. Fort Worth Poly, or is Poly part of the mascot name? Hang on, let me try to. It's Fort Worth, but I don't know if it just says Fort Worth Poly and then Fort Worth Poly Tech High School. Okay, I guess that's got to be them.
They're the Polygons.
I mean, that would be cool. All right, so it's Fort Worth. It's Polytechnic High School in Fort Worth. So Polytechnic is the name of the high school.
It's original.
Yeah, it's pretty out there. Any idea? It's another alliteration one.
I told you, the Polytech Polygon.
Parrots.
Parrots.
Yeah, another one of those you just don't associate with Texas.
That had to be like a student vote kind of thing. That's just too dumb to be actually thought.
Yeah.
Like,
so they're the poly parrots. Polytech.
Like Polly want a cracker.
Well, good call. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
These are smart kids now. Polytechnic.
Yeah, probably so. All right, Calhoun, Texas. All right, let's see here.
Calhoun, Texas.
Let me get you some context here. All right, Port Lavaca, Texas. So I'm assuming this is down near the beach. Yeah, it's on the Gulf Coast. Pretty solid little stadium.
So I'm gonna say something like aquatic.
Yeah, you're getting warmer there. I would
What was
tell you
the name of the school?
Stadium.
Calhoun.
I would tell you the name of the stadium, but it would give it away. Starfish, that actually might be better than this one. The sand crabs.
Come on, man. What is a sand crab? Is it like a hermit crab?
I know one thing. I think the Skeeters hate crabs. I think they hate the sand crabs, that's for sure.
The Plowboys don't care.
Plowboys don't care. Plowboys, they don't mind some sand crabs, but the Skeeters, they hate sand crabs. All right, here we go. Last one on this list. I don't know if we got. Actually, there's two more I want to throw at you. All right. So here we go. This is Central Catholic. I'm assuming this is a private school.
Probably
Central Catholic. So probably no Skeeters and Plowboys.
We're not.
And only the kids getting expelled are the sand crabs. Central Catholic. All right. You ready for this one? I'm trying to figure out where this is at. They are the Buttons. Oh, it's in San Antonio. The Central Catholic Buttons.
Like on a shirt?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Or is it something religious?
The Central Catholic mascot is the buttons, which are the hard, round segments that comprise the rattle of the rattlesnake. Got you. So it's like what's in the...
Are the beads in a rattlesnake's tail?
That's pretty unique, actually.
Unique, but not tough.
Not tough, necessarily. I mean, nobody's going to know off the top of their head what a button is. I mean, if they were the rattlers or something, but that one's been used before. So, I mean, I appreciate them trying to do something a little different.
I don't like that at all. That's stupid.
Not a big fan of the buttons?
No, just call yourself the beads. I don't know. Just like if you're just like a thing in a container that makes a noise.
All right, you ready for this next one? This might be the last one. Trying to think. Yeah, I think we almost got through the whole list. All right, so Hamlin High School out here in Texas.
I feel like I've heard this one before. Does it start with an H? The mascot?
No. They adopted this mascot in the early 1900s. It was inspired by the town's band and a Robert Browning poem. I'm not an English guy. I don't know who Robert Browning is.
So it's probably something artsy.
I can't tell you the name of the poem or it'd give away the mascot.
Flower. Tulip.
Nah. It's a person or a type of person.
I'm just thinking like a poem name.
I got you. They're the Pied Pipers.
Pied Pipers. Have you ever seen Silicon Valley, the show?
That's the name on HBO, right? HBO
That's
Max?
the name of the company, I guess. Pied Piper.
Pied Pipers. Yeah, that one's pretty unique. I think we got through the whole list. The only one we didn't cover, Grandview. All right, they're not too far from us. Smaller school. They're the Zebras. So I had to look into that. I thought maybe like somebody had a bunch of zebras like 100 years ago and maybe there was a small population down there or something. No, I think they like the uniqueness of the name. So they just rode with it.
A Joe Exotic situation going on.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Because you drive out on the highways out here and you see signs for those random safari parks and all that. And I just get Tiger King vibes every time I see one of those. Oh, I forgot this one. All right, this is the only other one. We've done the other 19. All right, Trent, Texas. Speaking of safari parks, Trent, Texas they are known as the Gorillas.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the backstory here. Trent Gorillas mascot. Show me what you got. Google. In the 80s, the Trent School was unique among Texas schools for having the gorillas as mascot. The population of Trent was estimated as 1,200 in 1928. And then from the 30s to the early 90s, the population is reported as 300. So population's decreased by a good bit, but it doesn't say why they're the Gorillas. They play six-man football. I got a lot of respect for six-man football. Yeah, I can't get a backstory though. Football. Yeah, dude. They're probably, I guess there got to be a 1A out there. I mean, the town's got 300 people in it. Got to be a small town like that. So the Trent Gorillas, and that rounds out our 20 most unusual high school mascots in Texas. Shout out again to Texas Football Life on Instagram for giving us something to roll off of. This got me thinking, between what started all this, we're talking about the Mullins Auctioneers, right? Thinking back to South Carolina, I'm trying to think of some other ones that were somewhat unique. I mean, auctioneers might take the cake.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know of
and
one. I
then
mean, you have the Swamp Foxes, but
Swamp
again,
Fox is
that's a
pretty cool.
historical thing. That's Francis Marion.
Is
It's a
that
whole.
is that Darlington or Hartsville? Is the Swamp Foxes? I mean, there's probably several schools that they use it
Oh,
out
it's
there.
it's it's Marion High,
Marion, that's right.
because it's
That's
Francis
right.
Marion.
What
Um,
was Hartsville? Hartsville had a cool mascot, I feel like.
I'm just gonna look these up. Hold on.
They were the Red Foxes. All right. That's where I was getting
But
mixed up.
yeah, here we go.
Yeah,
All
give
right,
me some South Carolina ones.
here we
Let's bring
go.
back my nostalgia here. We're just turning this into a mascot episode.
So, obviously, Swamp Foxes. We already talked about that.
Solid one.
A variation of that, but not really. For the people in Lawrence Manning Academy, I guess that's just Manning.
LRA. I actually know somebody that went there. I went to college with somebody that went there.
Guess what
Called it
they are?
LRA. I mean,
It's
I'm thinking
similar
something
to
agriculture.
Francis Marion's nickname, similar to that,
So
but not
Swamp
that.
Fox. So Swamp. The Swamp something?
Swamp something. Swamp Cats.
Sheesh. Swamp Cats. All right. So we got the Wampus Cats in Texas. We got the Swamp Cats in South Carolina. I think they need to do a little.
It's inspired by local legends of a mysterious swamp creature.
What was the? All right. So just unlocked a memory.
Man.
Remember the lottery commercial growing up? The Lizard Man. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
The Lizard Man. Tell me there's a high school out there with the Lizard Man as their mascot. That would be solid.
Not that somewhere in this country, there's got to be. You remember the Lizard Man rumor of the reservoir we lived across from?
No, I did not.
Maybe it was just a figment of my imagination.
Maybe
I remember we went fishing in that little cut through we used to go to.
Yeah.
And there was like a turtle. I don't know where we were. This might have been a dream. I'm just like thinking it's real. I think Dad was with us, right? And we were fishing and a turtle, something pulled my line hard, right? The rod just goes down and then snaps. And I was like, oh, what is that? And Dad, it was probably Dad now that I think about it, just messing with me. It's like, oh, yeah, that's the lizard man or whatever in there. You gotta be careful. You don't want to reel
to
him
the
in.
upstate.
That thing's still in my head now, but all right. Anyway,
That reservoir wasn't that deep. That reservoir might have been like 8-9 feet. I mean, I guess Lizard Man, as long as he ain't Sasquatch size, I guess
he's
he can
laying
still be
down.
pretty.
You never know.
Yeah, he could be on his belly rolling around, alligator style. All right, let's hear it.
This one's dumb. So this is Greg Mathis Charter High School in North Charleston.
Okay, calling it dumb because it's charter school's mascot.
No, it's a dumb mascot for South Carolina. It's very dumb.
Okay, so dumb for South Carolina. So are
dumb
they the liberals?
Dumb for the continental United States.
Islanders?
Honestly, it's dumb for North America entirely.
A communist?
Siberian tigers.
That's the completely wrong ecosystem.
What's wrong with tigers?
Unless they got a zoo down there. Yeah, why throw in Siberian?
Anyway,
they can't be any good.
Now we also have, this one's not, I mean, Pickens. That one's not really crazy.
Oh, the Blue Flame. No, but what's cool about Pickens, I wonder if they still have this. I think they do, because I think the new school they got, I think we played there whenever I was coaching at BHP.
The torch?
They light the torch. Yeah, that's so cool,
sick.
man. It's awesome, sick. Dude. Yeah, shout out to Pickens, man. Actually, I work with a guy I used to work with a guy who I think is now calling the plays up there at Pickens. I wonder how they did this year, actually. I need to check in on them. Yes, Blue Flames. I'm all about the Blue Flame. Blue Flames.
I didn't know this, but it originated from a 20s sports editor who described the team's fiery performance. And it stuck.
I'll take that. That might be one of my favorites now that I'm removed from it.
Bishop England High School in Charleston.
Oh, yeah. I know somebody from Bishop England. It was a little private school, I think, and they won a lot of games in a lot of different sports. Mascot though, I mean, I'm getting like a Scottish something vibe. I'm picturing like a guy in a kilt or something.
Battling Bishops.
The Battling Bishops. Okay, but
I guess that's
like a church official, right?
Yeah, that doesn't seem right.
That's a little contradictory, maybe.
Oh, here we go. All right, Oceanside Collegiate Academy.
Yeah, Oceanside Land Sharks.
Yeah, Land Sharks. Terrible. I mean, you could have just done Sharks. You could have done Hammerheads. You could have done so many other options. You could have not been a school entirely, but whatever.
And we should have asked Sawyer this when we were talking to him a few weeks ago, whenever that was. Ole Miss tried going as the Land Sharks for a while, right? When they were trying to kind of move away from the Rebels nickname, weren't they going by the Land Sharks for a
They
while?
did something with land sharks, yeah. I don't remember.
Let me look into this. All right, Ole Miss Land Sharks mascot. All right, the Ole Miss Rebels mascot is Tony the Land Shark, a shark that replaced Rebel the Black Bear in 2018. Yeah, I thought this was pretty recent.
It was a
Uh, well, so before they had Rebel the Bear, they had the Rebel, like
okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
like like we're all thinking here, like the Mullins auctioneers are thinking. But then they replaced that with Rebel the Black Bear. You know, try to soften it a little bit. Gave him the name Rebel to try, I guess, not to make too many old heads mad. And then they moved on to Tony the Land Shark. So the name Land Shark and the fins up salute were popularized by former Ole Miss football player Tony Feen, and Tony the Land Shark is named in his honor. The Land Shark became the official mascot after the university's administration recognized the popularity and positive impact of the gesture. Or were they just looking for a reason not to go have a rebel as their mascot? Let's be real
100%. Yeah.
They were trying to be politically correct.
What was
But
that would be like LSU, which they're just the Tigers. So they basically just picked up a name that a player used to like
yeah,
mimic. And so it'd be like Honey
be like
Badger. LSU
well,
Honey Badgers.
that's exactly what I was trying to think of. Yeah, Tyrann Mathieu. If they just started going as the Honey Badgers, yeah,
Yeah, we know what you're doing, Ole Miss.
yeah, we
We
know
see through it.
exactly what you're doing.
We see through it.
In their defense, I think it was a liberal administration back whenever those all those changes were happening. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Not to get political here, guys.
Lower Richland High School.
Lower Richland. I don't even know where that's at. Columbia area, maybe.
It's in Lower Richland County, I'm assuming. Duh.
Richland County's Columbia, right? That's the Midlands.
Yeah.
I ain't got a clue. Hot concrete. That's all I think about when I think about anything Columbia
It's
related.
the armpit of South Carolina.
Yeah,
It
the
truly
armpit
is.
of South Carolina.
Diamond Hornets.
Diamond Hornets. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, a unique twist on the Hornet mascot. The exact origin of Diamond remains unclear. So they just threw it up there. Said Diamond.
They like diamonds, you know. Everybody likes
Can't beat a
diamonds. Want a
diamond.
little bling. You got to trick out the Hornet a little bit. Nah, so shoot, I didn't realize we had killed as much time talking about mascots. You got anything going on? One thing that popped up literally before, I guess I saw it about lunchtime today. Big news out here. Governor Greg Abbott has signed a bill that will allow high school athletes 17 and up to enter into NIL deals. So basically, if you're a high school athlete in the state of Texas and you are 17 or older, you can now find ways to collect some NIL money. Jack, what's your thoughts about that? Y'all don't have anything like that in South Carolina, do you?
Nope, and I hope we don't.
Yeah, I think it's a slippery slope. I think like my gut, and I don't know what the legislation says. So this is just me just talking and just my thoughts on it as it is right now. I don't think I've ever had a problem with somebody being able to go and make some money just because of who they are. Right now, I think it's a slippery slope. You know, if you were to make this like just high school in general. So now you're talking like 15-year-olds but I do like that there's keeping it at 17 and up. I do feel like that helps some. I do think it kind of leans into what they see in college and the NFL where everything's about money nowadays. And don't get me wrong, like I can't say if I wasn't a big time prospect, 17 years old, I'd be going to try to get my money too. Like I don't think there's anybody that wouldn't be. I think the problem will be is and I don't think it's going to be anything like college where there's these NIL collectives. I just don't think that's a functional thing. But if you're in an area that's got some businesses that have some extra money to spend, they want to go make a little commercial or a radio hit and it's read out or the commercial's done with a local football player who might be a big time recruit or he might just be the quarterback for the local team. If you're in a town that's got more of that, then I do think it would kind of cause some folks to want to go play at that school because they know they might be able to make a few extra $100 because they might be the starting running back or whatever it is. But I don't know. I don't know what I'll think about it yet. I think as long as they can kind of keep it from turning into college where it's just every year highest bidder and switching schools up, that's what nobody wants. That's what people hate about college now. But I don't know. I don't have any problem at all with somebody who's 17, 18 years old going and getting their money. What you think about it?
I hate it entirely. So like college is one thing, right? I mean, this all started with like the old NCAA games. I mean, it started before that, but companies, the university, were making so much money off of those athletes. They were adults, grown adults, making so much money. And so, yes, I think college athletes, the NIL is great for them. I have no issue with NIL at the collegiate level. Why are you bringing that into high school? There ain't the 17-year-old kid. Now, if you're talking like, you know what? I don't even like that. I mean, if a kid wants to do a radio ad for a local restaurant,
I don't think any kid's gonna make. I don't think any kid's gonna make the average high school football player is not gonna go making life changing money.
no.
So I think I'm okay with him making a couple extra $100, going to the local pizza buffet and
Was
helping
that
them film a
forbidden
commercial.
before?
Yeah. I mean, that's NIL, right? You couldn't make money off of. But I think where some guys might start making some money is if you are a booster for a college that you really want this kid to commit to your college. Now you might have out of state people that have some money that might own a business. They might just want to cut them a check or what. I don't know what all the stipulations are. Again, I hadn't read any of the legislation, so I don't know what the details are.
And let's be
I
honest,
think
people were doing that illegally anyway. So it's like,
yes. Yeah, I think to me it's kind of like, I don't know, I feel like if I was in high school and just because I happen to be on the team or whatever, I feel like I shouldn't have been able to get forbidden to go make $50 being on a poster for, I don't know, I'm just trying to think of different examples, being on a poster for a local restaurant or the oil change place in town.
I do think it
Again,
could cause issues though, because the school is also going to those businesses trying to raise money for those athletes. And if those businesses are throwing money at kids versus the school, how
yeah,
does
it
that
might be
all settle?
that
And
part. That part might get interesting.
if you're in a
Somebody
big
that
city, it's not a big deal. But if you're in like a small town where these businesses are already tapped out from a
yeah.
lot of, supporting that school, and granted, they probably just wouldn't do NIL stuff, but I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, I think you bring up a good point. If you own the local whatever establishment, all right, and you normally donate 200-300 bucks to the booster club of the football team, well, now what's to stop you from just straight up giving a particular kid 200 bucks, and you say, all right, we want to get like 10 social media posts out of it for our businesses page. Well, now, like you just mentioned, that booster club's not getting that money that maybe year in, year out they've been kind of relying on. Because then, right, it's one thing if it happens one time, but if you get a group of those local businesses that are just going and doing that instead, now, like you said, those funds are maybe getting diverted away from the booster clubs and all that. So that's a slippery slope. I didn't think about
And
that.
you got, I mean, then money's going towards one or two kids, and the kids who aren't that great but still deserve to play because it's a
Yeah,
public school
right.
serving students. They're not getting the funds or the resources they need because of NIL collect for this one kid. You know what I mean? I don't
Yeah.
know. See how it
It'll be
pans out.
interesting. I'm interested to see kind of what the details are about it. It hadn't gotten, I guess the governor just put it out there, but I guess it hadn't gotten all the way cleared yet. But out here, I think he's pretty much got the House and all that stuff. They're kind of all in the
Yeah.
same ideology, so I got a feeling it's going to go ahead and pass through. But it'll be interesting, man. It's going to be it's going to turn into the Wild West. What I think
Yeah.
would be a problem. All right, hear me out on this one. So if you are a school that maybe is in a tough community, all right, or a not very wealthy community, but maybe you happen to have some success on the field because maybe you've got some athletic kids.
They're going to get
Maybe
poached.
exactly, but you got the next town over that's a wealthier suburb or whatever, and they've got some folks that, hey, if you come play quarterback over here, we'll give you $500. Maybe a guy owns some properties that he rents out. He might hook somebody up with free rent for a few months. I don't know what all it's going to look like, but I think that's where you could definitely have some big problems. But then I would hope they just do a good job like they have been doing of the transfer policies. They floated this idea about a one-time transfer, no questions asked. I don't think you can have both these things at the same time. I think you still got to have regulations where if a kid
Yeah.
transfers and he was on varsity at another school, that you got to get the paperwork all signed off. You got to do the home checks, all that stuff. But yeah, if it turns into college where it's just every year's one and you can bounce around and now I'm just going to the highest bidder, and I live in Dallas and I can go to just about any North Dallas suburb. And, if I'm a good football player, if I'm good enough, I'm just going to go to the highest bidder every single year. And I think that's where it could get real messy.
Yeah, and if it gets to that point, you've essentially ruined the point of public schools because then you got,
Oh, yeah.
and granted, it's just athletics. It's a small part of an entire school, but I
Well,
don't know, man.
I think it'd be interesting to see. Obviously, everybody always assumes that football is going to be who it pertains to the most, and it's probably because. But you got basketball and stuff too. I guess that there's some big time prospects out there where there might be some big money coming in, like we talked about from those collegiate boosters or whatever. But it'd be interesting to see if okay, if I'm in the band at my school, I'm 17. Maybe a local business is a big supporter of the band. It'd be interesting to see what the residual effects are for other organizations and stuff too, because all the sports out here are governed by from band competitions to whatever, they're all governed by the same body. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting, man. I'll have to keep everybody updated on what this
Now,
looks like.
in Texas, South Carolina has the high school league currently. I think there's a whole thing trying to get the government to take control of that, be the leading organization of high school athletics. But how is that in Texas? Is it also a separate entity, or
Yeah,
is it government based?
it's called the UIL, the University Interscholastic League,
And
and
it's not part of the state government, right?
no, 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 no.
Okay.
It's its own governing body, kind of like South Carolina High School League is, but they cover everything from all the sports, all the extracurriculars, and all that. There's like UIL academics, so you can go to academic competitions that are still governed by the UIL. And whenever we do we're doing failed, checking for failures and all that stuff that you got to make sure you have in line because the UIL can levy those punishments to you if you're not abiding by those rules and stuff. So yeah, I think they just got to be careful. I think they got to play it safe with. I think you still got to keep your transfer policies in check, and obviously people already find ways around the transfer rules and stuff as it
Yeah.
is. But if you go take all the governors off of it, and you've got money getting tossed around, again, I think if you're in small town America, it might not be as crazy, but if you're in a big suburb or if you're a good enough prospect, yeah, I think it could definitely be a sticky situation that could pop up.
Interesting. I think Georgia has NIL. I can't remember what their rules about it were, but
I think every time I hear about college NIL and then some of this high school NIL stuff, and I mentioned earlier, I got no problems with somebody being able to, especially if they're 17, 18, college age kid, whatever. I got no problem with them going out and being able to make money off their name, image, likeness. But I think the financial education part of it is so important because what you're going to have is a family that maybe comes from a low socioeconomic background, and the parents are now putting ideas in the kid's head, or the parents are shopping the kid around to try to help the family situation out. And
yeah.
if we're talking big enough money, and it's a family not used to having giant sums of money like that,
Yeah.
uh, it could get messy real quick if they're not properly saving, investing, paying their taxes, all that kind of stuff.
Now, did they outline any kind of rules as far as
No, I
like
was just reading the headline whenever I
using
screenshotted it.
school logos and stuff like
Actually,
that?
that would be interesting. Yeah, what are some of the rules on, if you're wearing a jersey in the thing, and you might have to get some kind of clearance with that through the school district. And I guess at that point, the school district could say no.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. I actually put this question on my Instagram page. I screenshotted the headline and then just kind of asked what people's thoughts were. So let's see here. I'll try not to put usernames out there just because I don't want to put anybody on blast. But this guy here, he's a coach. I won't say where, but he said it's going to ruin high school football just like it's ruined college football. And I think we kind of brushed on that a little bit here.
Take it he doesn't like
Uh,
it.
This guy says it could bring great opportunities, but hurt the Texas high school football image. That's one thing that I'm worried about. When I moved out here, I was so impressed by the investment in just high school athletics and high school football specifically, since I'm a football coach. And I would just hate to, I've only been out here 5 years now. I would hate for it to just get all unraveled,
Yeah.
all this great history and the tradition and the organization of it all. I would hate for it to all get unraveled about
I don't think
20
that'll
years.
happen.
Hopefully not. I really hope not. Here we go. Somebody just said NIL is ruining football. Somebody said they're curious how UIL will enforce the transfers now. That we talked about that earlier. I think, yeah, you got to keep those transfer guardrails in place. This person said they get it when it comes to college football, but doing it for high school football is insane. I
I
think they
agree.
kind of, yeah, they're on your side with that one.
Why
Somebody
did they do
said,
17 years old? Why was
I, th-
17 the cutoff?
I think that's a legal adult in Texas is 17.
Okay. That's what I was wondering. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think but this says, all right. So I said legal adult age in Texas, and it's saying 18. So I don't know, 17. Maybe they just thought, maybe because some people don't turn 18 when they're in high school till their season's already
But
done, like if you
if
got a
they're
later birthday or something.
17, they can't even legally sign a contract, can they? Would their parent not have to sign it?
It's a great question. I thought it might be age of whatever, but it just said when I Googled it, the 18 is the legal age in Texas. But and then this last guy here said, not a good thing. It takes the focus off football and makes it a money grab for athletes. And I think I don't know. I think I agree with that. That yeah, it's going to start to cloud, motivations by kids and stuff. But at the end of the day, I don't know of anybody that really doesn't think about money to some degree.
Yeah.
So I would say that money's always going to be a prevalent thing, especially if times are getting hard or whatever. It just seems like more and more people are worried about money and
And
all
the
that.
type of, for it to be, beneficial as far as a money grab, it would have to be a considerable amount of money.
Yeah,
And let's be
I
honest,
still,
that's like upper echelon, top tier athletes that would even
yeah.
maybe get that money. And
If you're,
colleges were already doing that under the table. Boosters were doing that under the table for years anyway.
yeah,
So like,
if you're a prospect that's got power four, shoot, even some of those group of five schools nowadays are shelling out some NIL money. So all right, let's just say if you're an FBS football recruit, all right, you might be looking at solid money. But I still think, like we kind of talked about, your average high school football player, I don't think is going to get any kind of life changing money from this. And we're talking 17, so they're probably talking junior, senior year for sure, but maybe some guys that are in their junior year. I don't know. It'll be interesting.
they're not gonna pull up in the school parking lot in like a Phantom or something crazy. Like it ain't gonna happen like that.
Yeah, unless you're
Unless you're top
like
tier.
Zion Williamson and everybody knew you were going to be a number one pick when you were playing South Carolina private school basketball.
Well, so I read about Georgia's rules rules around it, and they have actually amended it to prohibit collectives too. So I didn't think about that, how a school could have a collective and pay all of them, or whoever out of the batch. Georgia prohibited that. So I think that's a good idea if you're gonna.
That's good. Yes, because if you have if you got a school that's in a wealthy suburb and they've got their booster club and they know that this money's secure to keep operations going, and then now this high school is going to form a collective and they're going to go out and raise a good chunk of change and divide that out by 100 players and everybody's going to get this flat rate or where I do like that. So hopefully we get some of that. Yeah, because we got some schools out here with some money, man. It'd be crazy to see what kind of NIL collective could get formed for some of these Texas high schools. I mean, look at some of the money they're spending on just football stadiums. I saw a stat. So Collin County, which is North Dallas County. So we're talking McKinney, we're talking Prosper. I mean, some pretty big areas with some pretty affluent families and stuff. Guess how much money they've spent on high school football stadiums since 2012 as a county. So all the high schools in this county.
How many schools?
So we're talking like Allen, McKinney, Prosper. So
500 million,
250 million since 2012. So in 13 years, and I know 50 of that was Allen's high school, and probably another 50 was McKinney's, and Prosper's got a good one. But yeah, they've spent some money out there. So yeah, just imagine if now those schools said, "Hey, we want to raise $100,000." And every player's going to get $1,000 just being on the team. That would be wild.
You know what's interesting? So you know how a lot of college programs, all right? So college financial aid, like need-based aid. If a kid's getting an NIL deal, let's say it is a crazy amount or whatever, which if he's going for football, at least it's going to be a full ride anyway. But I wonder how that could affect financial. There's just so many considerations to make when you're dealing with money like this.
Or if it's a family from a low socioeconomic and they're used to getting a lot of these government assistance things, and now the household income is who knows what the number might be. If, like we talked about, it's a high profile player. Yeah, I mean, I think the ripple effect it's a lot more than people don't think about the taxes and stuff like that.
Especially if that kid's a dependent. Yeah. Oh my gosh, if he's still dependent and getting money.
Yeah, because he would be.
There goes unless he files his own.
Yeah, unless he files his own taxes or whatever. But yeah, I don't know.
Jeez.
Yeah, wild times, man. I'll have to keep everybody updated on, who knows? It might get shot down by somebody. It might get amended so much that it really winds up not being a big deal at all. Maybe they cap the limits or whatever. Who knows? Like you talked about, the people who've been doing under the table are probably still going to do it under the table, or the college is going to up the a lot of these guys, they're saying, the day you commit, whenever you early enroll, you're going to instantly get the check for this amount. So I think those things will all still be happening. It's just how's it going to affect them during their high school careers? That's going to be an interesting thing to watch out. But nah, man. So
It's crazy.
I appreciate. Shoot, we blew through an hour. We spent 40 minutes just talking about the mascots. Yeah, what you got going on? We've got to catch up from the week.
So I'll start with some good news. We got a drone, 4K drone. It's pretty sick. Tenzik Atom. I highly recommend it. Anyway, it's been great. We've been filming some of our practice periods and stuff. It's great. I can set it up, leave it there, walk over like 7-on-7. I can film that while I'm doing, DL Indy over here in the other corner of the field. It's great. Highly recommend it. Aside from that, here's the bad news. So a while back, we talked about my truck getting totaled, going through this whole process, whatever. Well, I found a truck I loved that I was going to buy. Okay. 2 trucks, actually. One was at one dealership, and the other was at one I had shipped. So if you've ever shopped at CarMax, you can ship from a different CarMax to where you are, right? Too much money to get this car shipped down here just so I could look at it. Okay. And you don't get that money back. It's gone.
Oh.
You just pay it to get it down here. It's gone. Okay. So I did that because I was like, this is the one. This is the one I'm going to get. Well, as it was being shipped, I find another one. Very similar, same color, it was the truck I wanted, plus or minus a couple features. But it was 2 years newer, and it had like 30,000 less miles on it. And the price difference was like barely, So I'm like, oh, never mind. This is the one I want, right? Well, I do a 24-hour test drive with the CarMax one just to, drive it around. And my plan was, all right, I'm going to go return this CarMax car because I'm going straight to the other dealership to buy it today, right? And I had talked to the guy who worked at that dealership. I won't put him on blast, but you know who you are if you're listening, and put in the credit application, everything. Like, I'm going to sign papers that afternoon. So I go to the dealership that afternoon ready to buy a car. Did all the prep work, everything. And I'm like, yeah, I'm here to, check out the finalize that on that Ram over there. Dude's like, let me get the keys. Goes back, he comes back, he goes, that car sold today. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, we had talked that morning, and I said, X price, I'm there this afternoon to sign the papers. Like, it's done. And he said, I'll see you this afternoon. And then I show up, and you sold it from
under your nose.
And they still ran the credit application. So my credit got a hit, hard inquiry. If you don't know about that, look it up. And I'm like, all right. So
for all the high school listeners out here,
made my credit score dip like 7 points, and like whatever. Anyway, Toyota of Greenville, but whatever,
that's just sloppy. Golly.
So I say that. So if you're listening and you know of a 2022 to 2024, 5, whatever, 2022 or newer Ram 1500 Laramie Sport with the granite metallic color, send it to me because I'm ready to buy.
Oh,
all right.
Help a brother out, man.
Yeah.
Help a brother out.
Yeah. But that's all I got. Other than that, it's just vibing out here in the summer, man.
Yeah, that's we got a SMU 7-on-7 tomorrow, so hopefully I can give everybody an update on that next week. But it's going to shape up to be a long day for us. We still got our workouts in the morning at 7. We'll wrap that up at 8:30, turn the guys loose for a little bit. But my daughter's doing the strength and conditioning for one of the other sessions, so I'll still be at the school till about noon. Make sure she don't crush herself on the squat rack. And then we got to hit the road and go to SMU, and we'll be there at least from 3:30 to 7:30, 8 o'clock. And depending on how the tournament part of it goes, might be there till 10 o'clock. So it's going to be a long day for me tomorrow, but hopefully we can go out there and make some magic happen. And
it's a good day, though, if you're there till 10. It's a good thing.
It is, yeah. You're excited if you're there till 10. You kind of get that breath of fresh air, and then you get the find a little spot to eat afterwards that maybe ain't closed down yet, maybe a little late night joint down there in Highland Park. Really nice area, Jack, if you ever get the chance to go and visit.
SMU, that whole area.
Yeah, it's got some money. So I'm hoping it winds up being a pretty good day for us. So yeah, that's all I got, man. I appreciate everybody listening as always. 4th and Ward every Sunday, wherever you get your podcast, videos up on YouTube. Hit the 5-star review if you don't mind, and make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss an episode. Appreciate you for listening, guys.
See y'all.